But what I learned from that when I checked this verse, and hear this hadith. Hazrat Ibn Umar, before time ran out, because I don't want you to think this is my story. I want you to know this is Islamic stories. This is an Islamic lesson. This is an Islamic reminder. Hazrat Abdullah ibn Umar, radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Everyone know who is Umar, radiallahu ta'ala anhu? The second caliph of Islam. So his son, Abdullah ibn Umar, radiallahu ta'ala. One day he was going on a journey. And he saw a Bedouin. You know Bedouin? A villager. People say Bedouin, not so very significant. They're villagers. They're dihati, hey, villagers. So he met a man. And there are different versions of this incident. Some said he met the man himself, who was his father's friend, as Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu's friend. Some say he met the son of his father's friend, Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu's friend. So Ibn Umar, the son of Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he met, let's take the one that he met the son. He met the son of the friend of his father. Okay? And this is very authentic hadith. And he said, aren't you so-and-so? And the man said, yes, I am the son. Listen to this, my brothers and sisters, especially you who have parents alive. And I'm only learning this, and I read these hadith, oh Allah, lectured on it, but I never really got the depth and hakikat of it. And it's now my heart and my eyes are just bleeding with whatever these things are. And I thought it's an opportunity to remind myself and you. Who is Umar radiallahu ta'ala? What a powerful man that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if there was to be any prophet after me, it would be him. Ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala, and so many a hadith has been narrated by him. He asked the man, so you are so-and-so? Yeah, he said, yes. You are the son of so-and-so. He had a donkey, Ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala, that he would ride sometimes, that he used to travel with beside his camel. He told this boy, this man, take this donkey and give it to your father. He took out his amama. You see this on his head that we wear here? This used to be a sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He took this out and he gave it to the man. And he said, take it for your father. So one of the other person who was with Hazrat Ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he said, but yeah, Ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he's a Bedouin. He's a dihati, he's a villager. Why you have to give him your turban? Your turban is some line of significance. Why do you have to give him your means of transport, the donkey that you travel with? You could have given him 2 riyals or 2 dirham. Interesting, huh? You know, that's what some of our parents, our children will tell us. And it happens all the time. Who's that? Why you care for that person so much? How much you talk about that person? So you know what was the answer of Hazrat Ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu? Allahu Akbar. He told the man, the Sahaba, the other person who asked him, why didn't you give him 2 riyals? He said, his father was my father's friend. Wote inki doste. Walid ke doste. Huh? He said, and I remember the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, this is the deep hadith here. He said, I remember the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying, and the synopsis of this hadith is, that obedience to parents, one of the form of obedience to parents is that you be nice to your parents' friends or those to whom your parents were close to. Qareeb. That's basically it. He says, that's a form of obedience to your parents, that you be nice, and you maintain, the hadith spoke about maintain, the Prophet ﷺ said, maintain good ties. You understand what it says here? Maintain good relationship with those whom your parents had loved. Allahu Akbar. Can you imagine that? Nowadays, some of us, our parents pass away and we don't even show love to their parents that they had loved. You know why? We're so caught up in this money and this dunya and this world that we have no time for ourselves, we have no time for our parents, we have no time for their parents. Come on, my brothers and sisters. I just thought that, it's a reminder to myself. And you know what the hadith continued to say? And if you do not, because you see, all of you may say, yeah, all right, we don't have time to keep ties with those whom our parents loved, meaning their sisters, their cousins, their relatives, their friends that they used to love when they were alive. That's what the hadith is saying here. The Prophet ﷺ said, because if you don't keep good relationship and maintain the ties with those whom your parents were close to, Allah may take away that light from you in this world. Astaghfirullah. That is sad. Allah may take away that spiritual light and guidance that He has for you in this world, and maybe in the hereafter also. So Ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala, who is telling this man who asked him that, that's why I took off my amama and I gave the man my means of transport to go and give his father, who was the friend of my father. How many of us do that today? Nowadays, there's some of us don't even keep relationship with our fathers, brothers, and our mothers, sisters and brothers, and our fathers, brothers, or their children, or their grandparents, whatever you can do it. I know I have a very busy dawah life, and I will really cut short in that. And I always remember my parents telling me, try to meet this one, try to meet that one, try to meet this one. I was never able to fulfill it, even though I were involved all in dawah and travel. But you know what? Those of you who have parents, and if your parents have passed away, if you have parents here, talk to them about the people they loved. See, they may not just tell you without a reason about their parents and their parents' parents. Yeah. Forget about if they're in foreign countries. Make your parents happy by talking to them about the people they love. Do you know that makes them happy? Makes them smile? Rejuvenate them? Yeah, I remember when my parents used to talk to me about their mothers and their fathers and their uncles, they would be so happy. And if sometimes we would ask them, wow, now volumes will go on. But you see, we don't do that nowadays. And I'm not telling you to do it because I am telling you that I shortcome in that. I'm telling you because that's what the Quran and Sunnah says. وَقُلْ لَهُمَا قَوْلًا كَرِيمًا. Talk nice things with them, kind words, things that will make them feel nice. Smile, be happy. Not only about don't quarrel with them, but say nice things to make them happy. That's why the Prophet ﷺ said, if you make them smile, you get the blessings of a pilgrimage. That's why the Prophet ﷺ said, if you put your mother on your back and take her to perform Hajj, and you make that tawaf 7 times, you know how hard it is to make that tawaf? You guys know that who have been there? Yeah? Why do you think people do it 2 o'clock in the morning when the sun is not hot? The Prophet ﷺ was talking about if you take your mother on your back in the hot sun, in the desert, in the burning sun, in the hot desert, and you walk her around the Kaaba in the hot, you still cannot pay her for 1 drop of milk that she gave you. That's why we are supposed to make parents happy when they're alive. Go the extra mile. You see, a lot of us know don't quarrel with them, don't abuse it. So everybody knows that. But what I'm saying to myself and you and all our viewers worldwide, you find reasons to make them happy. And if they have passed away, you look for the family members that your parents had loved. And if they pass away, look for their children. Call them. You have WhatsApp. You have every app nowadays. But see, all of us down, you see. We use WhatsApp, but we're really down. Call them. Talk to them. All over the world now, you can talk on WhatsApp and see people and talk to people. Use the technological opportunity that is available in the world. Don't just ignore them because you live in America and you got nice cars and nice houses and a nice family and you're busy. You see, if we do that, our children will do the same to us. They will not care for the people we love. Don't you know? You try it now. Talk to some of your American-born children and say, you know, my grandfather was born so-and-so. They wouldn't care to hear where is so-and-so and who is so-and-so. Go try it and come back and tell me if it's true or not. You follow what I'm saying? But that would make them happy, because whom did they love? Their parents. Those that they loved. And the hadith is so clear to say that. The man told them, that's why I did that. Because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, maintain good ties with the people that your parents loved. I remember mentioning a few weeks ago the hadith in which a man went to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he said, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I have committed a wrong. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, do the khidmat, go and be nice and caring to your mother. Go and be nice and caring to your mother, and Allah will forgive you for your shortcomings. Of course you make tawbah, and of course you read 2 rakats tawbah, but do some of that. And the man said, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, my mother has passed away. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, do you have a mother's sister? The man said, yes. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, go and be nice to her. Be caring to her. Show her love and affection. And do her khidmat. Because your mother's sister is like your mother. Remember, Allah didn't make us born from a coconut tree, you know. Nariyal ke darak, koi aam ke darak, any tree you just fell from. We have a womb connection with our mothers and our father's sperm and his lineage and her connection. We are born to a family. Don't bring this worldly, materialistic things that people make you disconnect from your family. Come on, don't fall into that. A lot of times men make their wives, make them disconnect from their family. Don't come with that stupidity, beokufi, ahmaki kind of stupidity. You live with your mother for 20 and 30 years, you get married and you divorce her in 1 year, or 1 day after your marriage. You forget about the kindness your mother gave to you. You forget about the kindness and the love you had with her. Your wife's love is one place and your mother's love is another place. Your father's love is one way and your husband's love. Everyone has their rights and their hukuk. Fulfill it according to the Sharia of Islam. Yeah, a lot of times that's the problem. Some men make their wives be disrespectful to their, and you see, if I don't say this part, then we will fail short. You will be thinking it's just a khutbah, man. That is so not, just listen to it. I wanted to remind myself and you of the reality of it. Some husbands make their wives stay away from their fathers and mothers and do not go the 9 yards in وَقُلْ لَهُمَا قَوْلًا كَرِيمًا, in being very nice and very generous and very caring and taking the time and spending the time to talk and be nice to them. And some wives do the same thing to their husbands. They don't make them spend extra time in being nice to their husband's parents or their husband's relatives and friends and family that their parents used to be nice to. Come on, don't do that. Don't let that shortcoming happen. That's one of the signs of Qiyamah. That's one of the signs of the day of judgment. When we allow those things to cut our family ties, it's a sign of the day of Qiyamah. The Prophet ﷺ speaks about du'as not being accepted. Yeah? Be nice. You got to be nice to your husband and your wife and your children. That's your family. But what about the family that produced this family? What, your parents were not your family? And their parents were not their family? That's the blood ties that the Prophet ﷺ speak about. My brothers and sisters, go and study the law of warathat, inheritance, and you'll see the rights of children, grandchildren, and the whole connection. They are legally connected to you spiritually. Do you know that? That if you have no wife and children and you leave wealth and property, it's got to be distributed amongst them. So much they have hukuk and rights over you. Nowadays, we don't even have the time for them, and we don't care about that.